So welcome to all of you. Now we were studying the chronological letter number 44, and today is part 2 of that letter. This study will be taken by Brother Pradip Mahapatra, National Lecturer of Indian Section and the Vice President of Utkal Theosophical Federation. So first session was already completed. Now we'll have part 2 of this letter. I welcome Brother Pradip ji to continue the study of this letter.
Thank you, Vivaji. Let us start with a short meditation because we are going to study the original letters, original philosophy, esoteric philosophy. What is Theosophy? Mahatma tried to give the humanity through these letters. So this is rare letters in which questions are there, and in the questions you will know how talented Brother Sinnett, at that time he was Vice President of Theosophical Society, as well as editor of Pioneer newspaper, and Brother Hume, senior ICS officer, the two gentlemen through whom Mahatma, with the permission of Mahajan, they given some esoteric philosophy, which at that time they thought, means masters thought, that the world is at this stage, at that time, world is ready to accept it. But that is different thing. So we'll go to letter, chronological letter number 44, which is, as per Baba book, is letter number 13. And before I take up all these letters, all this esoteric philosophy, I will share the previous slides, which is necessary for each and everyone to once again see it. Okay, so this is the scheme of evolution. Our solar system has 7 schemes. This is it is in the book Man, Owens and Wither, written by Annie Besant and C.W. Twitter. So in the 7 scheme, one is Vulcan, second is Venus, third is Earth, fourth is Jupiter, fifth is Saturn, sixth is Uranus, seventh is Neptune. But this is as per the occult science. And science says we have planets like Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And Pluto, earlier it was there, now it is a very dwarf planet. So science, as per their instrument, they detected all this. But this scheme and planet as described by scientists are different. Then we will go to the next slide. This is the successive chains in a scheme. And if we will mark the mental middle person, it is all mental. Here you will see all the 7 chains are connected with the mental body. Then we will go to the next slide. It is a successive life waves passed from one planet to another planet. Suppose we have a 10 life. For this study, we will start from elemental 1 to human being. Suppose it is start from here, Then we will reach at a seventh stage as a human being. From here, elemental one to human being. So it is, so we reach that level here in the seventh chain. Next is, this is diagram prepared by one of our inner founders, masters. It is available in Man, Vence, and with there. This is the in a planet, in a chain. Suppose this person, this is elemental one. In next chain, after completing all the 7 rounds, and each round consists of 7 races, 7 races, 1 races consists of 7 sub races. One sub races constitute of 7 offshoot races or sub races. So one round like that, he is to, this elemental one is to complete 7 rounds. Then he will, if it is fit, then he will come to elemental 2 in the next check, like this. And this blue color ball as a elemental one, in 7 chains, he will become the man, human being in the 7th round. So let's go to the next chain. This is what we discussed in the previous class. This is the diagram Mahatma given to us in letter number 66 chronologically, and Mahatma letter number 14. And this is a very interesting diagram. But brother Sijin, brother Lidbitter Sahab and Anni Besant, they have explained beautifully in that book, Man, Vence, and Weather. So we'll go to the next, which we have completed. The important points for us to just, I am drawing your attention that last time we discussed nature follows the same groove in same routine from creation of a universe down to that of mosquito. Very interesting point. Nature follows the same groove from the creation of the universe down to the mosquito. Then another interesting point is that there are in the nature positive and negative, active and passive forces corresponding to male and female principles. So here active forces means positive forces is always attracted by negative forces. The active is attracted by the passive principle. The active is attracted by the passive principle. Then Mahatma answered that how the serpent emblem of the eternity attracts its tail to its mouth, forming thereby a circle. That is the emblem, that is the circle, serpent taking his head. Head means it is here. Active, tail is the passive. Active is the positive, tail is the negative. So here is the circle in our emblem. That is another important point. Third important point is the world of effect. Vibhaji in one of her previous class mentioned all these effects. But here Mahatma in question to answer 3, the world of effect are not locos or the localities. In Hindu Purana, Patal Loko, there are all those locos are there. But here Mahatma explained in the worlds of effect, cause and effect. Suppose I throw a stone, then I have to face the consequence. So throwing the stone is cause, and consequence is I have to bear the fruit of my consequence. So the effect, the world of effect are not the locals or the localities, they are the shadow of the world of causes. They are so. They are so. Worlds having like men, kindly see this sentence Mahatma Master I am using. Worlds having like the men, There are 7 principles which develop, grow simultaneously with the body. This is another great interesting point. So we'll come to the today we will complete letter number 4, 5, 6, and 7. 5, 6 is very lengthy letter. We'll try, and some of slides I have prepared. Question is, I see the magnetic impulse which cannot yet be conceived of as an individuality enter the second sphere in the same universe kingdom as that of which it belongs to, sphere 1, and runs the round of mineral incarnation. They are passing to the sphere 3. Our earth is still a sphere of necessity for it. Hence, it passes into upward series, and from the highest, it passes into the vegetable kingdom of sphere 1. Without any new impulse of creative force from the above, its carry around the cycle of worlds as a mineral principles has developed some new attractions and polarization. You see, the questioner, Brother Sinnett, how interesting questions he asked. Then he further question is, which causes to assume the lowest vegetable form. In a vegetable form, it passes successively through the cycle of worlds, the whole being still a circle of necessity, as no responsibility can it have accrued to an unconscious individuality, and therefore it cannot at any stage of its progress do anything to select one or other of divergent paths. So this is interesting. Or is there, questioner asked, questioner means Brother Sinnett asked, is there something in the life even of a vegetable which, though not responsibility, may lead up or down at the critical stage of its progress? Having completed whole cycles as a vegetable, the growing individuality expands in the next circuit into an animal form. So our philosophy, theosophy, of course, it was in Sufism, the elemental 1, 2, 3, then next form is a mineral, mineral to vegetable, vegetable to animal, animal to human being. This is all this thing. Having completed whole cycle of as a vegetable. So vegetable, a particular vegetable, suppose a vegetable in your garden or in your forest, whatever vegetable you have seen, they have their these vegetables, they have to complete 7 rounds. In one round, 7 races, and in 7 races, as I explained, there are also 7 sub-races. So each vegetable, after completing 7 rounds, it may take millions and millions of years. The next chain, they will become the animal. So exactly same thing in moon chain, the vegetables in the moon chain, after completing 7 rounds, they are now animal in the earth chain. In whatever animals you are marking here in your home, like cat, dog, etc., or in forest, the big wild animals, they are the plants in the moon chain. So having completed the whole cycle, this is the what questioner is asking. Answer: the evolution of the worlds cannot be considered apart from the evolution of everything created or being on these worlds. Can you see the word created? If you say that, or if anything, anyone will find that there is somebody creator creating all these worlds, then you will be the wrong spot. And you will not able to understand what is the esoteric philosophy, what Theosophical Society trying its best to give to the world. So your accepted conception of cosmology, whether from the theological or from the scientific standpoint, do not enable you to solve a single anthropological or even ethnical problem. They stand in your way whenever you attempt to solve the problem of the races on this planet. When a man begins to talk about creation, means somebody created this world, somebody created me or the earth or the globe, a person like a god, Ishwara, whatever name you will give. If you thinking as a creator, as a Ishwara, Allah, or whatever name you can give, if you say that, then matter ends there. You will not able to solve the problem. So he says that Mahatma says, when a man begin to talk about a creation and the origin of the man, he is putting against the fact and insensately against the fact. Go on saying our planet and men are created, and you will be fighting against hard facts forever, analyzing, losing time over trifling details, unable to ever grasp the whole. But once admit that our planet and ourselves are, here see the answer. Answer to those persons who are thinking there is a creator and all the whole universe is created by somebody. Here is the answer. They once admit that our planet and ourselves are no more creations than the iceberg now before me. At that time, Mahatma was standing in front of Master K's house. So the iceberg now before me, but both the planet and man are states for a given time. Well, see the wordings. Mahatma aim use planet and man are the states of a given time. Myself and the planet Mercury or Mars in the morning you have, or Venus you have seen. Those are the states of a given time, and their present appearance, geological and anthropological, is a transitory but a condition concomitant of that stage of evolution at which they have arrived in the descending cycle, and all will become plain. So we are in the evolution of process of evolution at a particular stage. As a human being, I am sitting here and a planet is there. So we are in the process of evolution, respective stages we are there, and the time will come when there will be pralaya, means all will become plain. You will easily understand what is meant by one and only element or principle in the universe, and that is androgynosis. The androgynosis means that means everything. There is a positive and negative within that. The seven-headed serpent. Then Mahatma then explained how what is the Vishnu. She is sleeping in Kirasagar with seven-headed serpent before him. The Naga around Buddha. All these are symbolic. Means evolution, cycle of evolution. The great dragon eternity biting with its active head, its passive tail. Meaning active, passive, positive, negative, always there. From the emanation of which springs worlds, beings, and things, that is there. From active head, it will passive, and from there, the emanation of a springs worlds, like human being also coming out of that, world also coming out of that, things are also coming out of that. You will comprehend the reason why the first philosopher proclaimed all Maya. But that one principle which rests during the Mahapatra, only the night of Brahma. That is one. Madhavji asked me in one of our class, whether the solar pralaya is a night of Brahma or not. But there are millions and millions galaxy, and each galaxy there are Brahma also. In the solar system there is also another Brahma. So the night of Brahma means Mahapralaya, means there is no iota of any existence of any being, things, worlds, whatever. So we'll go now. Think the Naga ox. He has a heavy breath and the latter is sent like an electric shock. Kindly imagine Mahapralaya has taken place. Pralaya, Mahapralaya, when no existence of any thing available, any human being, that is androgenesis means only positive, one element is available, only positive and negative is there, nothing. Then Naga X means Brahma taken the inhale, then exhale. So he has a heavy breath and later is sent like an electric shock along the wire encircling the space. The moment Naga have a heavy breath, then the electric shock, then they started the all this evolutionary process will start. Go to our pianoforte, execute upon the low register keys, 7 notes of low octave, up and down. All these things are, I request Sister Vibhaji, she will explain in the end. This is this slide relating to how pianoforte is connected with the Naga ox and heavy breath. Let us go to the next. It is a scheme of evolution. We have initially, because there are many things the Mahatma will going to explain. So we have a spiritual plane, intuitional plane, mental plane, astral plane, physical plane, and this is our earth chain. This is moon chain. In the particularly in a scheme like this, it is there. Then we will go to the next time. Just it is creating some kind of interested. I copied it from our book, Theosophical book. If you like, you can go through that book. This is a moon chain. Moon chain. It is a moon chain. Only moon is available. Moon is our mother of the earth. in a earth chain, there are 3 planets: Mars, Earth, and Mercury. Here in the left side, this A is completed 4 rounds, B completed 4 rounds, C completed 4 rounds, Mars is completed. And we are in the process of midst of 4th round, means 4th round, 5th race, and 5th sub-race, 6th sub-race work already started. Then Mercury, life force from here D2 will go straight to the Mercury. In Mercury, 3rd round only completed. Then I will go to the F, and F is a planet in the astral plane. Signs have no iota of any knowledge on it. Where is F or is G? So it is in a mental plane. So here also 4 round will be completed. Then again 5th round will be completed. Then again 6th and 7th round. Then in this chain, all human being monarchs, when they started here, will become perfect. Then they will go to the next chain. That is the earth chain completed. Then there will be chain of Jupiter chain. So we will go to this. Is this just means creating some kind of interest within you. Then this is the diagram given by Mahatma, and it is here we have to go through this again. Now the first and last note, which is in the piano, etc., will represent you the first and last spheres in the cycle of evolution. This is the, I'm keeping a small diagram for you to just to look at it. Here is the first sphere, first, and here is the last sphere. It is all in the mental plane. Like that, in a earth chain, there are 7 chains, and in 7 chains there will be like this. So in the first and last sphere in the cycle of evolution, the highest, the one you strike once in our planet. Remember, you have to reverse the order in pianoforte. Begin with the 7th note, not with the 1st. The 7 vowels chanted by the Egyptian priest in the 7 rays of the rising sun, to which none responded, but that. We have our Saregama Indonesia. And then next important point is one life principle, when in action, runs in a circuits, even as known as physical science. It runs the round in human body, where the head represents and is to the microcosmos, the physical world of matter, and the summit of the cycle is to the macrocosmos, the world of universal force. And so the formation of the worlds and the great descending, ascending circle of necessity. So it is the circle of necessity. In that way, we will it means that life principle, when in action, it will create some kind of vibration within us, and the next everything will follow as per the stage of evolution. So here Mahatma in this slide mentioned all is one law, whether it is relating to planet or to our earth or human being, everything is under the one law. Man has 7 principles, the germs of which he brings with him at his birth. So has a planet or a world. From first to last, every sphere has its world of effect, passing through which will afford a place of final rest to each of the human principle. The 7th principle accepted. Here, the world of effect, kindly imagine, world of effect is a Mahatma previous letter answer. That world of effects is not a cause, it is a cause. It is a cause created by whether by a planet or a human being, it is the effect. So we have here 7 planets in this chain, 7 planets, and in each 7 planets, each planet has 7 principles. Like human being, we have a physical body, then our etheric principle, then prana, 3 principle, then astral, 4th principle, then 5th is manas principle, 6th is intuitional principle, 7th is atmic principle, atmic principle. So there are 7 principles for human body. So also it is for the planet or world. That is the reason Mahatma mentioned all is one law. So has a planet or world, from first to last, every sphere has its world of effect. Suppose physical body uh, to up to intuitional body, we have effect. So 6 principle into 2, 12 effect, and then there is 7th. 7th is our atmic principle. It has no effect. Why it has no effect? That is another thing. Mahatma will explain later. So there are always 13 effects. It is same to the human being, same to the world. So we'll go to the next slide. Sorry. This is relating to the world number 1. Some problem is there. World 1. The world number 1 is born. Okay. The world number A is born. Here A is born, and with it clinging the barnacles to the bottom of a ship in motion, evolved from its breath of life, the living beings of its atmosphere, from the germs hitherto innate, now awakening to life with the first motion of the sphere. So here in this in a diagram, Mahatma mentioned world A is a born, particularly when it is taken birth as a world, not like a human being. The world is also uh, taken place. The birth is also taken place. That he explained here also. So world is born with it clinging like a barnacles. So like that, the like human being, world is also coming up. Next is with the sphere A begins the mineral kingdom. Suppose in a sphere A, if you have a mineral kingdom, runs round of mineral evolution, they are like a human being, they have to complete the 7 7 rounds. By that it come to sphere B. Sphere B is here. Sphere B is next. Comes into objectivity and draws itself the life which has completed its round in sphere A, has become a surplus, the fount of life being inexhaustible, for it is the true or chain doomed to spin out its wave eternally, said the period of pralaya. Like this, it is a Mahatma explained. Then comes the vegetable life on a sphere A, and the same process takes place. On its downward course, life becomes, with every state, coarser, more material on its upward, more shadowy. No, there is not even there can be any responsibility until the same when matter and spirit are properly equilibrated. Up to man, life has no responsibility. And see this underlined sentence. Up to man has a life has no responsibility. So the life in a animal, plant, mineral has no responsibility. But in case of man, it has a responsibility. You have to face the consequence of your action in whatever form. No more than the fetus who in his mother's womb passes through all the forms of life. This is a very interesting thing Mahatma explained here. Like man also, while he is in a mother's womb, there is a formation as like a mineral, like a vegetable, like animal, and become finally man. So it is like this. Then next slide is question. It is relating to where does to get the animals of. It is its fifth principle from animal soul. Where he gets the questioner asked, get the animal soul. Its fifth principle has the potentiality of this resided from the first in the original magnetic impulse, which constituted the mineral, or at every transition from the last world on the ascending side to sphere 1 means sphere A, does it, so to speak, pass through an ocean of spirit and assimilate some new principles. Here, Mahatma explained further. Thus, you see the fifth principle. You know, the fifth principle, brothers and sisters, is our manas principle, mental principle. Is evolved from within himself. When everything is within us, so whether it is astral principle or mental principle, it is intuitional or I think it is all within us. Man has having, as you say, you will say the potentiality of all the seven principles as a germ. Kindly see the word. All the seven principles as a germ within us. From the very instant he appears in the first world of causes as a shadowy breath. First world of causes means here in the top. When as a elemental one, whenever he entered within that, as a germ, it is all the seven principles within that, which coagulates with and it's hardened together with the parent sphere. Slowly, slowly, as he coming down in the form of involution, it is also become hardened. Spirit, then a most important sentence, spirit or life is indivisible. The life within the form has no division. It is a very important sentence. And when we speak of the seventh principle, it is neither quality nor quantity. So that is the reason each human being has the seventh principle. It has no effect. Means there is no question of any. It is the seventh principle. It is neither quality nor quantity nor yet form that are in our body. There is seven principles. Seventh principle is there. That is your Atma. It has no body also. That's interesting. And it is a food for meditation. But rather the space occupied in that ocean of spirit, Minakiji mentioned it is Chaitanya Sagar. By the results or effect, whatever may be, this is your Atma. Your seventh principle is neither quality nor quantity nor yet form that are meant, because it is life itself. It is life individual. It is just it is some kind of a dot, or you can say beneficent impressed there, like this Mahatma explained the seventh principle. Then next question, from the highest animal non-human form in sphere, how does it go get the sphere 2? Then how the questioner asked from highest animal from sphere 1, how can he coming down to sphere 2? Mahatma explained, it runs its cycle in a spiral from one of sphere 1 to from one of sphere 2, etc. Then from 2 to sphere 1, 2, 3, etc. In the secret written, it was a very diagrammatically, Madam Blavatsky explained how spirally life force is going. Then it seems to me that the same rule must apply to mineral, vegetables, individuality. If there's such a, some things I have been told seem to be militate against that. State them, they will be answered and explained. For the moment, I must work on this hypothesis, however, having swept through the cycle in the highest animal form, the animal soul in the next plunge into the ocean of spirit acquires the seventh principle, which endowed it with a sixth. This determined its future on earth, and at the close of earth life has sufficient vitality to keep an attraction of its own for the seventh soul, or loses this, ceases to exist as a separate entity. This is very interesting when the monad or soul or Atman is on the process of evolution. Maybe because of attraction towards this Maya or towards this Bhava Sansara, they may lose their stage of evolution. Mahatma later they have explained somewhere they may go to the next chain to start again. That is very interesting, rather complicated question. So Mahatma did not mention much. Then answer he said, why inconceivable? The highest animal form in sphere 1 or A being irresponsible, there is no degradation for it to merge into sphere B, 2 or B as the most infinitesimal of that sphere, which on its upward course, as you are told, man finds even the lowest animal form there, higher than he was himself on earth. How do you know that man and animals, even the life in its incipient stage, is not 1,000 times higher there than it is here? Then Mahatma indirectly asked him a question, besides which every human, every kingdom, and we have 7 while you have but 3, is subdivided into 7 degrees or classes. Man physically is a compound of all the kingdoms. As Mahatma explained, a man in a mother's womb, he will be like an animal, vegetable, and also mineral. That stage he has to pass. So man physically is a compound of all the kingdoms, and spirituality. His individuality is no worse for being shut up within the casing of an ant than it is for being inside a king. So it is not the outward or physical shape that dishonors and pollute the fifth principle, but the mental perversity. Kindly see the last sentence, brothers and sisters. The pollution or in our mind, suppose in our mental body there are many disturbances. So Mahatma means the fifth principle is not because of outside problem. Kindly imagine the fifth principle is because of outside dishonors, polluted fifth principle. But the mental perversity, the mental, your intellectual mental is like this. So that is the reason there are division, quarrels in the world. Then next slide. Then it is at his 4th round, when arrived at the full possession of his karma, energy, and it's completely man become fully responsible, as at the 6th he may become Buddha. Means in the 6th round he will become Buddha. Now our Buddha of this arch chain is now Buddha, because of a sixth rounder. So when one will reach in the sixth round, each and every one will become Buddha. And at the seventh round, before the Prada, a Dhancha. And in seventh round, we will be higher than Buddha, like Sanat Kumar or Silent Rachel, like that. So this is relating to the process of evolution. So Mahata further explained, mineral, vegetable, animal, man, all these have to run their 7 rounds during the period of Earth's activity. This is more important. Whether a mineral in your front, the minerals available, vegetables in your garden, and animal within your resident or outside resident, and human being, all have to run 7 rounds during the periods of Earth activity. Means in Earth chain, each one has to complete these 7 rounds. I will not enter here on the details of the minerals. Kindly see Mahatma, how Mahatma mentioned it. He will not go details of the minerals, vegetable evolution, but I will notice only man or animal man. He starts downward as a simple spiritual entity, an unconscious 7th principle. Mahatma mentioned here the monad while coming down is an unconscious 7th principle, a Param Brahm in contradistinction of Para Param. You see the wordings, great ones used, Param Brahma and Para Param. Within the germs of these other 6 principles lying latent and dormant in man. Param Brahma, it can be Param Brahma. Para Param Brahma has beingness, secret doctrine. It is the highest. Then we will go to the next. Gathering solidity in at every sphere is a 6th principle. When passing through the world of effects, and his outward form, the worlds of causes. Kindly see the worlds of effect, world of causes. For these world stages on the descending arc, we have other names. When he touches our planet, he is but a glorious bunch of light upon a sphere itself. It's pure and undefiled for mankind, and every living thing on it increase in their materiality with the planet. At this stage, our globe is like the head of a newly born babe, soft and undefined features, and man and Adam, before the breath of life was breathed into his nostrils. It is relating to man and our planet, nature, it is today. It is all relating to Mahatma given on Bible. Man, number 1, makes his appearance at the apex of the circle. Here is the apex of the circle. Of the sphere on sphere 1 after the completion of 7 rounds or period of the 2 kingdoms 20. This is all relating to Kabbalistic Christian dialects. On the descending arc next, when she starts after the completion of the 7th round of animal life on his own individual 7 night, he has to enter every sphere, not as lower animal as you understand, but a lower man. So when animal, when animal completed his 7 round in the animal kingdom in a previous chain, say about moon chain, he will again come to earth, being a perfected human being, but as a lower animal, lower man, Mahatma means a lower man, and semi-civilized human being. Since during this cycle, which preceded his round as a man, he performed it as the highest type of animal. So when he became the man, before he became man, he is the highest type of animal. So kindly see, imagine a dog in your house. His behavior is just look like a type of man, highest type of animal. So here all these things it is explained relating to animal kingdom, how they are coming in contact with a human being, they develop. So we'll go to the next slide, like the lower lives and beings during his first, second, and third round, while he is in an irresponsible compound of pure matter, pure spirit, from sphere 1, where he has performed his local sevenfold round of evolution process from the lowest class to the highest species, say anthropoids, up to the rudimentary man, certainly enters number 2 as an ape. So this is all relating to evolution from animal to human. At this round and stage, his individuality is as dormant in him as that of fetus during his period of gestation. So, in a mother's womb, initial stage of gestation, it is the fetus is just like that. So, when a semi-civilized or a person, semi-civilized human being, there the individuality as dormant as like the fetus person. He has no consciousness, no sense, for he begins as a rudimentary astral man, sorry, it is astral man, and lands on our planet as a primitive physical man. So far, it is a mere passing on to the mechanical motion. So, Mahatma mentioned if Shitalji is there, so from lunar chain, she will get his answer, her answer. From lunar chain, a astral body will come straight, just in a mechanical motion. The man will come as a rudimental astral man, lands our own planet as a primitive physical man. Volition and consciousness are at the same time self-determining and determined by causes. And the volition of man is intelligence, and consciousness will awake when his fourth principle come is matured, completed by its seriatim, contact with the kamas or energizing force of all the forms man has possessed through in his previous 3 rounds. So in fourth round, slowly, a man will develop his kama astral principle like this. The present mankind is at its fourth round. Mankind is a genus or a kind, not a race, of the post-Pralam cycle of evolution and its various races. So the individual entities in them are unconsciously mentioned here, is themselves to perform their local earthly sevenfold cycle, has the vast difference in the degree of their intelligence, energy, and soul. Now every individual will be followed on the ascending arc by the law of retribution, karma and death accordingly. Here, the moment, suppose in Prabhuti Marga and you start Nibruti Marga, whatever karma you acquired, you have to adjust. Here Mahatma says, individual will follow the ascending arc. Descending arc complete ho gaya, now ascending arc start ho gaya. So the karma will start death. The perfect man or the entity which reached full perfection, each of his 7 principles being matured, will not be reborn here. This is the stage where, after going, we are aspiring to reach that. That 7 principle will be perfect, will not reborn here. His local terrestrial cycle is completed, and he is to either proceed onward or be annihilated as an individually. That is another philosophy. Now, this is on their 5th round after a partial nirvana, where the zenith of the grand cycle is reached, they will be held responsible henceforth in their descent from sphere to sphere, and as they will have to appear on this earth as a still appear on this earth as a still more perfect intellectual race. This downward course has not yet begun, but will soon. Only how many will be destroyed on their way? This is left to each individual by our involvement in our Bhavasagar, Maya, illusion. We may be destroyed Who knows? Mahatma also. Oh, how many will be destroyed on their way? The above said is the rule. Mahatma, whatever it is given, I just narrated it to my understanding, just creating an interest within you, my brothers and sisters, so that you can go deeply, meditate it, and get your own answer. The Buddhas and Arhats, avatars from the exception, as verily we have yet some avatars left on us on earth. The seventh principle, here Mahatma explained beautiful Master aim. What is seventh principle? Always there is in latent force in every one of the principle, even body, even form also, matter also, form, whatever form may be, there is also seventh principle. Because without that life, oh, hidden life vibrant in every atom, how can a matter will be there? As the macrocosm whole, it is present even in the lower sphere, but there is nothing there is to assimilate it to itself. Life means consciousness, chetana. There is nothing for him to assimilate, because it is the part and parcel of it, that para Brahma, whatever name you can say. So we'll go to the seventh question. Shortly we will conclude. Sorry for long this presentation. The next is animal soul having its successive passage round the cycle, lost, so to speak, the momentum which previously carried to pass the divergent path downward, which strikes off, falls into the lower world in the relatively brief cycle in which its individuality is dissipated. But this would only be the case with the animal soul, which had not in its union with spirit developed a durable sixth principle. If it had done this, in the sixth principle drawing to itself, kindly remind, I am reminding you, the sixth principle is your intuitional plan, intuitional principle, Buddhic principle of the complete man, and withered the inferior fifth principle by so doing, as it is the question and flower. When thrown upon, whether its leaves, then the animal soul would not have cohesion enough to enter on another existence in a lower world. You see the answer. Reforming your conception, what I gave you above, you will understand now better. The whole individuality is centered on three principles: third, fourth, and fifth. Third means your prana, fourth is your astral, fifth is your mental. With this whole individual, during the earth life, it is all in the fourth, the center of energy, volition, will. Because if you see the diagram, astral is always connected with the wisdom side. So it is there. Mr. Hume has perfectly defined, here he explained, define the difference between personality and individuality. Personality and individuality. The former hardly survive. You see, the personality does not exist. Means once personality gone means next. The latter means individuality to run successfully its sevenfold upward course has to assimilate to itself the eternal life power residing but in seventh, then blend the three, fifth, and seventh into one, the sixth. This is the technical words used by Mahatma to explain Brother Sinnet. This is the last slide. Those who succeed in doing so, means if it is often given to us to reach that level, the level of Buddha, Dhanchand. The chief object of our struggle and initiations is to achieve this union while yet on this earth. Kindly see, the chief object of our struggle. Struggle means struggle in daily life. Different questions, different maya and trial, probation, whatever is going on in daily life. And then initiation is to achieve this union. Union means merging of individuality with a Atmic principle and all become one while yet on this earth. those who will be successful have to nothing to fear during the 5th, 6th, 7th round. Suppose one of our sister, if we will complete this, then there will be many pralayas, etc., etc. In the 5th, 6th, minor pralayas, 7th rounds. But as he reached the level of a stage, then he is not to fear, he or she not to fear. But this is a mystery. Our beloved is cage on his way to the goal, the highest of all beyond us on this sphere. I have to thank you for all you have done for our two friends. It is a debt of gratitude we owe to Master M. For some short time, you will not hear of or from me. Master M told to Mr. Sinet, and last word given to him, so also to us, that prepare yourself. Prepare yourself, prepare how to merge yourself with that Atmic principle or seventh principle. Thank you, brother, for patiently hearing this one of the most complicated letter. I tried my best. Thank you, Bhivaji. Thank you, each and everyone.
Thank you, Brother Pradip ji. Yes, no doubt. This is a very deep meaning letter, and each one of us has to really meditate on every sentence. We have just gone through it in these two sessions. So I invite Sister Meenakshi ji for the Hindi translation.
नमस्ते, थैंक यू सिस्टर, थैंक यू ब्रदर। आज हम लेटर नंबर 44 का उर्वरित पोर्शन ले रहे हैं। प्रश्न नंबर 4 जो सिनेट मास्टर एम से पूछते हैं कि चुंबकीय संवेग जिसकी अभी एक व्यक्तित्व के रूप में कल्पना नहीं की जा सकती, वह उसी खनिज जगत में स्फीयर 2 में प्रवेश करता है जैसे वह स्फीयर 1 में था, और वहां खनिज अवतारों को पूर्ण करके ग्लोब 3 में जाता है। हमारी पृथ्वी उसके लिए अभी भी पुनर्जन्म का क्षेत्र है, इसीलिए वह ऊपर की श्रृंखला में जाता है और इनमें से उच्चतम से स्फीयर 1 के वनस्पति जगत में जाता है। ऊपर से सर्जनात्मक शक्ति के किसी भी नए संवेग के बिना साइकिल ऑफ वर्ल्ड्स के अपने कार्यकाल में कुछ नए आकर्षण या ध्रुवीकरण विकसित किए, जिस कारण वह निम्नतर वनस्पति रूप धारण करता है। वनस्पति रूप में वह क्रमिक रूप से युगों के चक्र से यानी साइकिल ऑफ वर्ल्ड से गुजरता है। यह संपूर्ण अभी भी पुनर्जन्म का क्षेत्र है। हालांकि उत्तरदायित्व नहीं, पर क्या वनस्पति के जीवन में ऐसा कुछ है जो उन्नति के इस महत्वपूर्ण चरण में उस की ओर ले जा सकता है, आरोहण या अवरोहण की ओर ले जा सकता है। वनस्पति के रूप में संपूर्ण चक्र को पूरा करने के बाद यह विकसित हो रहा व्यक्तित्व अगले फेरे में पशु रूप में विस्तारित होता है। इस पर मास्टर एम का उत्तर है, ग्लोब्स के विकास को हर चीज के विकास के सिवाय नहीं माना जा सकता है जिसकी निर्मिति यहाँ हुई हो। विश्वोत्पत्ति की आपकी स्वीकृत धारणाएं अवधारणाएं, वह चाहे आध्यात्मिक या वैज्ञानिक दृष्टिकोण से हो, आपको एक भी मानव शास्त्रीय या जातीय समस्या को भी हल करने में सक्षम नहीं बनाते हैं। और जब भी आप इस ग्रह के जातियों की समस्या को हल करने का प्रयास करते हैं तो वे आपके आड़े आते हैं। जब भी कोई व्यक्ति मनुष्य की निर्मिति और उद्गम के बारे में बात करता है तो वह निरंतर तथ्यों के खिलाफ होता है। जब भी आप कहेंगे कि हमारे ग्रह और मनुष्य की निर्मिति हुई थी, तब आप निरंतर कठिन तथ्यों के खिलाफ लड़ते रहेंगे, विश्लेषण करेंगे और मामूली विवरणों में समय गवाएंगे, संपूर्णतः समझने में असमर्थ होगे। लेकिन एक बार जब आप यह स्वीकार करेंगे कि हमारा ग्रह और हम एक हिमखंड जो मेरे सामने है उससे अधिक रचनाएं नहीं हैं, लेकिन यह कि ग्रह और मनुष्य दोनों एक निश्चित समय के लिए अवस्थाएं हैं कि उनका भूगर्भीय और मानवशास्त्रीय वर्तमान स्वरूप अस्थायी है और विकास की उस सहवर्ती स्थिति के चरण में है जिस पर वे अवरोही चक्र में आ गए हैं। तब सब स्पष्ट हो जाएगा। आप आसानी से समझ जाएंगे कि ब्रह्मांड में एकमात्र तत्व या सिद्धांत और उस द्विलिंगी का क्या मतलब है जो विष्णु के 7 सिर वाले नाग अनंत, बुद्ध को घेरे हुए नाग, अपने सक्रिय सिर से अपनी निष्क्रिय पूंछ को काट रहा अनंतता का महान सर्प, जिसके उत्सर्जन से जगत की, प्राणियों की और वस्तुओं की व्युत्पत्ति हुई, इसका मतलब आप समझ जाएंगे। प्रथम दार्शनिक ने सब कुछ माया है, मात्र वह एक सिद्धांत जो केवल महाप्रलयों के दौरान विश्राम करता है, वह ब्रह्म की रात्रि है, ऐसी उद्घोषणा क्यों की, इसका कारण आप समझेंगे। अब सोचे, नाग जागता है, वह एक भारी निश्वास छोड़ता है और उसे तार में बिजली के झटके की तरह सर्वत्र स्पेस को घेरता है। अपने पियानो फोर्टे पर जाए और कीज के निचले रजिस्टर पर निचले सप्तक के 7 स्वरों को ऊपर और नीचे बजाए। पियानीसिमो शुरू करे, पहली की से बढ़ते क्रम में और आखिरी निचले नोट पर उच्च स्वर लगाकर वापस घटते क्रम में जाए। अपने आखिरी नोट से धीरे धीरे लोप होता हुआ मुश्किल से बोधगम्य ध्वनि निकलेगा। पहला और आखिरी नोट आपको विकास चक्र में पहला और आखिरी स्फीयर दर्शाएगा, जो उच्चतर है, जिसे आप एक बार बजाते हैं, वह हमारा ग्रह है। याद रखें कि आपको पियानो फोर्टे पर क्रम को उल्टा करना होगा। 7वें नोट से शुरू करें, पहले से नहीं। इजिप्ट के पुजारियों द्वारा उगते सूरज की 7 किरणों के लिए 7 स्वरों का उच्चारण किया गया, जिस पर ग्रीक पौराणिक कथा ट्रोजन वॉर के मेमनॉन ने प्रतिसाद दिया। यह उसका अर्थ है। यह वही प्राण तत्व है जिसे भौतिक विज्ञान जानता है, जो कार्यान्वित होने पर सर्किट्स में घूमता है। यह मानव शरीर में चक्कर लगाता है, जहां सिर माइक्रोकॉज्म पदार्थ के भौतिक जगत को दर्शाता है, जैसे युग का सर्वोच्च बिंदु मैक्रोकॉज्म सार्वभौमिक आध्यात्मिक शक्तियों के जगत को दर्शाता है, वैसे ही ग्लोब्स का निर्माण और पुनर्जन्म के महान चक्र का अवरोहन और आरोहण है। सब एक ही सिद्धांत है। मनुष्य के अपने 7 तत्व है, जिसके बीजाणु वह अपने जन्म के साथ लाता है, वैसे ही एक ग्रह का या ग्लोब का है। प्रथम से लेकर अंतिम और आखिरी ग्लोब तक प्रत्येक में प्रभाव के जगत होते हैं, जिसके माध्यम से गुजरने पर जिसके माध्यम से गुजरने पर 7वें तत्व को छोड़कर प्रत्येक मानवीय तत्वों को अंतिम विश्राम का स्थान मिल जाएगा। ग्लोब ए की उत्पत्ति होती है और इसके साथ गतिमान जहाज के नीचे चिपके हुए समुद्री जीवों की तरह जीवन की पहली सांस से उसके वातावरण के जीवों की उत्पत्ति होती है। स्फीयर की पहली गति के साथ अब तक अक्रिय बीजाणुओं से जीवन की जागृति होती है। स्फीयर ए के साथ खनिज वर्ग की शुरुआत होती है और खनिज विकास का दौर चलता है। जब तक यह पूरा हो जाता है, तब तक स्फीयर बी का अवतरण होता है और उस जीवन को अपनी ओर खींच लेता है जिसने स्फीयर ए पर अपना दौर पूरा कर लिया है और उसका अधिक्य हुआ होता है। जीवन का स्रोत अपार अक्षय असीम है, जो ग्रीक पौराणिक कथा के अराकन की तरह प्रलय काल को छोड़कर चिरकालिक जाल बुनेगा ही। फिर ग्लोब ए पर वनस्पति जीवन आता है और वही प्रक्रिया होती है। प्रत्येक अवस्था में जीवन अपने अवरोहण अनुक्रमण में अधिक अपरिष्कृत सघन जड़ पदार्थीय हो जाता है और आरोहण में प्रतिछायादार। जब तक पदार्थ और आत्मा यथोचित संतुलित नहीं होते, कोई उत्तरदायित्व नहीं हो सकता है। मनुष्य वर्ग तक जीवन का किसी भी रूप में कोई उत्तरदायित्व नहीं है, उस भ्रूण से अधिक नहीं जो अपनी माँ के गर्भ में जीवन के सभी रूपों से गुजरता है। अंततः मनुष्य बनने के लिए वह खनिज, वनस्पति, मनुष्य, पशु के रूप से गुजरता है। आगे का प्रश्न है, उसका पांचवा तत्व एनिमल सोल उसे कहाँ से मिलता है? क्या इसकी संभावना पहले से ही मूल चुंबकीय संवेग में बसी रहती है जो खनिज की निर्मित करती है, या ग्लोब 1 के आरोहण के अंतिम वर्ल्ड के प्रत्येक परिवर्तन काल के दौरान चैतन्य सागर से गुजरता है और कुछ नए तत्व आत्मसात करता है? मास्टर एम उत्तर देते हैं, इस प्रकार आप देखें कि उसका पांचवा तत्व अपने भीतर से विकसित हुआ है। जैसा कि आपने ठीक कहा कि मनुष्य में अभी 7 तत्वों के बीजाणुओं के रूप में संभावना है। कारणों के प्रथम जगत में जिस क्षण से वह अवतरित होता है, अस्पष्ट मंद श्वास के रूप में, जो मूल स्फीयर के साथ साथ जम जाती है और ठोस होती है। आत्मा या जीवन चैतन्य अविभाज्य है, और जब हम 7वें तत्व की बात करते हैं तो यह न तो गुण है, न परिमाण है और न ही रूप है, बल्कि परिणाम या प्रभावों द्वारा उस चैतन्य महासागर में व्याप्त स्पेस है। अगला प्रश्न है, स्फीयर 1 में उच्चतम पशु रूप में से यह स्फीयर 2 में कैसे जाता है? वह वहां सबसे निचले प्राणी रूप में उतर सकता है, यह अकल्पनीय है, लेकिन यह प्रत्येक ग्रह पर संपूर्ण जीवन चक्र में बारी बारी से कैसे जा सकता है? यदि यह अपने चक्र को एक स्पाइरल रूप में चलाता है, अर्थात स्फीयर 1 के रूप 1 से ग्लोब 2 के रूप 1 तक आदि, फिर ग्लोब 1, 2, 3 आदि के रूप 2 तक, और फिर ग्लोब 1, 2, 3 आदि के ग्लोब 2 की, और फिर ग्लोब 1 से लेकर आखिरी ग्लोब तक फॉर्म रूप 3 की ओर, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि खनिज और वनस्पति व्यक्तित्वों पर भी यही नियम लागू होना चाहिए। यदि ऐसा नियम हो तो और फिर भी कुछ बातें जो मुझे बताई गई है वे उसके विरुद्ध लगती है। उच्चतम पशु रूप में उच्चतम पशु रूप में चक्र में आगे बढ़ने पर एनिमल सोल चैतन्य सागर में अगला प्रवेश करने के बाद 7वें तत्व को प्राप्त करता है, जो इसे छठा प्रदान करता है। यह पृथ्वी पर उसके भविष्य को निर्धारित करता है, और पृथ्वी पर के जीवन के अंत में 7वें तत्व के लिए अपने स्वयं के आकर्षण को बनाए रखने के लिए उसके पास पर्याप्त जीवन शक्ति है, या वह इसकी क्षति करता है और एक स्वतंत्र इकाई के रूप में अस्तित्व समाप्त हो जाता है। इस पर मास्टर एम उत्तर देते हैं, यह सब भ्रांत धारणा है। 7वां तत्व प्रत्येक तत्वों में, यहाँ तक कि शरीर में भी सुप्त शक्ति के रूप में सर्वदा स्थित रहता है। ब्रह्म तत्व के रूप में यह निचले स्फीयर में भी मौजूद है, लेकिन इसे अपने आप में आत्मसात करने के लिए कुछ भी नहीं है। अकल्पनीय क्यों? स्फीयर 1 या ए में उच्चतम पशु रूप अनुत्तरदायी होने के कारण उस स्फीयर के सबसे छोटे रूप में स्फीयर 2 या बी में विलीन होने में कोई घटाव निम्नीकरण नहीं है। जैसा कि आपको बताया गया था, मनुष्य जब पृथ्वी पर था, उससे भी उन्नत सबसे छोटा पशु रूप भी उसके ऊर्ध्व गमन के समय उसे वहां मिलता है। मनुष्य और पशु, यहाँ तक कि अपने प्रारंभिक चरण में जीवन भी यहाँ से भी 1000 गुना उन्नत नहीं है। इसे आप कैसे जानते हैं? इसके अलावा सभी वर्ग 7 उपवर्गों में विभाजित है। भौतिक रूप से मनुष्य अभी वर्गों का मिश्रण है और आध्यात्मिक रूप से उसका व्यक्तित्व एक राजा के अंदर होने की तुलना में एक चींटी के आवरण में बंदिस्त होने से बदतर नहीं है। यह बाहरी या शारीरिक आकार नहीं, बल्कि यह मानसिक विकृति है जो 5 तत्वों की उपेक्षा करता है या दूषित करता है। चौथे परिक्रमा काल में जब वह अपनी काम ऊर्जा के पूर्ण अधीन हो जाता है और पूरी तरह से परिपक्व हो जाता है, तब मनुष्य पूरी तरह से उत्तरदायी हो जाता है। जैसे कि छठे में वह बुद्ध बन जाता है और 7वें में प्रलय के पहले एक ध्यान चौहान बन सकता है। खनिज, वनस्पति, पशु, मानव सभी को पृथ्वी के गतिविधि काल महायुग के दौरान 7 परिक्रमा काल से गुजरना पड़ता है। मैं यहाँ खनिज और वनस्पति के विकास को नहीं, बल्कि मानव या पशु मानव के विकास का विवरण दूंगा। वह अवरोहन में साधारणतः एक आध्यात्मिक इकाई के रूप में शुरुआत करता है, एक अचेतन 7वां तत्व परब्रह्म के मुकाबले परब्रह्म, जिसमें अन्य 6 तत्वों के बीजाणु सुप्तावस्था में और निष्क्रियता में रहते हैं। प्रत्येक स्फीयर में घनत्व प्राप्त करते हुए उसके 6 तत्व जब प्रभावों के जगत से गुजरते हैं और उसका भौतिक रूप कार्य कारण के जगतों से गुजरता है, जब वह हमारे ग्रह को स्पर्श करता है, तब वह शुद्ध और निर्मल स्फीयर मात्र एक तेजस्वी प्रकाश पुंज होता है। मानव जाति और प्रत्येक जीवित प्राणी की ग्रह के साथ जड़त्व में वृद्धि होती है। उस स्तर पर हमारा ग्लोब एक नवजात शिशु के सिर की तरह नरम और अपरिभाषित विशेषताओं के साथ है, और मनुष्य जीवन की सांस भरने से पूर्व वाले एडम की तरह आपके बेहतर रूप से समझाने के लिए आप ही के उलझे हुए शास्त्रों से कोट किया गया है। मनुष्य और हमारे ग्रह के सृष्टि के लिए यह प्रथम दिन है। आपके बाइबल का विकृत रूप देखें। मनुष्य क्रमांक 1 आपको ज्ञात 2 वर्गों के 7 राउंड या 7 रूट रेसेस के पूरा होने के बाद स्फीयर्स के शीर्ष बिंदु पर स्फीयर नंबर 1 पर प्रकट होता है, और इस प्रकार से उसकी 8वें दिन निर्मित हुई, ऐसा बाइबल में कहा जाता है। बाइबल का चैप्टर 2 देखें, छंद 5 और 6 पर ध्यान दे और सोचे कि वहां मिस्ट से क्या मतलब है, और छंद 7 में लॉ परब्रह्म को क्रिश्चियन और जूस ईश्वर कहते हैं और कब्बालिस्ट विकास के रूप में समझते हैं। इस प्रथम परिक्रमा काल में मनुष्य प्राणी, जैसा कि आप कहते हैं, चक्राकार रूप में आगे बढ़ता है। अपने व्यक्तिगत 7 फेरों पर पशु जीवन के 7वें राउंड के पूरे होने के बाद जब वह अपना अवरोहन शुरू करता है, उसे आपकी समझ के अनुसार प्रत्येक स्फीयर में एक निम्न पशु की तरह से नहीं, बल्कि एक निम्न मानव के रूप में प्रवेश करना होगा, क्योंकि मनुष्य रूप में आने से पहले वाले साइकिल में उसने उच्चतम प्रकार के पशु का रूप धारण किया था। बाइबल के चैप्टर 1 छंद 25 और 26 के अनुसार संपूर्ण निर्मिति के बाद आपके ईश्वर कहते हैं, आइए हम मनुष्य को अपनी छवि के रूप में बनाएं, आदि। और एक द्विलिंगी वानर के रूप में जो हमारे ग्रह से लुप्त हुआ है मनुष्य का निर्माण करते हैं, जो पशु वर्ग में सबसे अधिक बुद्धिमान और जिसके वंशज आप वन मानुष में पाते हैं। उदाहरण के तौर पर अफ्रीकी बौना जाति और सिलोन के वेद जाति, इन कुछ मनुष्य की तुलना में अगला ग्लोब जो अधिक बुद्धिमानी होगा उसके उच्चतम वन मानुष की संभावना से क्या आप इनकार करेंगे? जैसे कि मनुष्य अपने परिक्रमा काल के चौथे चरण में पहुंचता है, उसे ऐसे निम्नीकरण से गुजरना नहीं पड़ता। अपने पहले, दूसरे और तीसरे परिक्रमा काल के निचले जीवन और प्राणियों की तरह और स्फीयर वन में वह शुद्ध पदार्थ और शुद्ध आत्मा का एक अनुत्तरदायी यौगिक है, जहां उसने विकास क्रम के अपने स्थानीय राउंड को उच्चतम प्रजातियों के निम्न वर्ग जैसे कि वन मनुष्य सदृश वन मनुष्य से लेकर प्रारंभिक मनुष्य तक वह निश्चित रूप से वानर के रूप में स्फीयर 2 में प्रवेश करता है। इस अवस्था में उसका व्यक्तित्व उतना ही सुप्त होता है जितना कि गर्भकाल के दौरान एक भ्रूण का होता है। उसमें कोई चेतना नहीं होती है, कोई समझ नहीं होती है, क्योंकि वह एक प्रारंभिक अल्प विकसित एस्ट्रल मैन के रूप से शुरू होता है और हमारे ग्रह पर एक आदिम मनुष्य के रूप में उतरता है। यह केवल एक यांत्रिक गति से आगे बढ़ता है। इच्छा शक्ति और चेतना एक ही समय में आत्मनिर्धारित और कारणों से निर्धारित होती है, और मनुष्य की इच्छा शक्ति, उसकी बुद्धि और चेतना तब जागृत होगी जब उसका चौथा तत्व काम परिपक्व होगा और कमस या अपने पूर्व 3 परिक्रमा काल में गुजारे हुए मनुष्य के सभी रूपों के ऊर्जादायक शक्तियों के क्रमबद्ध संपर्क से पूरा होगा। वर्तमान मानवता प्रलय के बाद के विकास चक्र के चौथे राउंड में है। ध्यान दे कि मानवता एक प्रकार में न की जाति के रूप में है और विभिन्न जातियों के रूप में है। इसीलिए उसमें की व्यक्तिगत इकाइयां अनजाने में अपने को पूरा कर रही है, अपने लोकल अर्ली 7-fold साइकिल्स को पूरा कर रही है। इसीलिए उनकी बुद्धिमत्ता, ऊर्जा आदि के स्तर में बहुत बड़ा अंतर है। ऊर्ध्वगमन में अब प्रत्येक जीवात्मा के पीछे कर्म और मृत्यु, लॉ ऑफ रिट्रीब्यूशन रहेगा। परिपूर्ण मनुष्य या इकाई जो पूर्णतः परिपूर्णत्व की प्राप्ति करती है, उसके प्रत्येक तत्व परिपक्व होने से उसका यह पुनर्जन्म नहीं होगा। उसका लौकिक ऐहिक सांसारिक चक्र पूर्ण हो गया है और उसे या तो आगे बढ़ना है या एक व्यक्तित्व के तौर पर लोप होना होगा। अपूर्ण सत्ताओं को पुनः जन्म लेना होगा। आंशिक निर्वाण के बाद अपने 5वें राउंड में जब ग्रैंड साइकिल चरम पर पहुंच जाती है, तब आगे एक स्फीयर से दूसरे स्फीयर में अवरोहण पर उन्हें जिम्मेदार ठहराया जाएगा, क्योंकि उन्हें इस धरती पर अधिक परिपूर्ण और बुद्धिमान रेस के रूप में प्रकट होना होगा। यह अवरोहण अभी शुरू नहीं हुआ है, लेकिन यह जल्द ही होगा। ओह, अपने पथ पर कितने नष्ट हो जाएंगे। ऊपर में उल्लिखित यह एक नियम है। बुद्ध और अवतार अपवाद है, जैसे कि पृथ्वी पर वास्तव में अभी हमारे पास कुछ अवतार शेष है। आगे सीनेट प्रश्न करते हैं। प्रश्न नंबर 7। विकास चक्र के दौर के क्रमिक मार्गों में एनिमल सोल ने वह गति खो दी है जो पहले इसे विभिन्न मार्ग से नीचे की ओर ले गई थी। जो यहाँ विचिन्न हो जाती है। निचले जगत में कुछ संक्षिप्त साइकिल में अवनति होकर उसका व्यक्तित्व नष्ट हो जाता है, लेकिन यह केवल उस एनिमल सोल के मामले में होगा जिसने आत्म तत्व के साथ अपने मिलने पर स्थायी मजबूत छठवां तत्व विकसित नहीं किया। यदि उसने ऐसा किया होता और यदि छठवें तत्व ने पूर्ण मनुष्य के व्यक्तित्व को अपनी ओर खींचा होता, तब पांचवा निम्न तत्व एलो के फूल की तरह मुरझा जाता, जैसा उससे फेंकने पर उसके पत्ते मुरझा जाते हैं। तब एनिमल सोल में लोअर वर्ल्ड के अन्य जीवन में प्रवेश करने के लिए पर्याप्त लगाव नहीं होगा और जल्द ही इस पृथ्वी के आकर्षण के स्फीयर में विलुप्त हो जाएगा। इस पर मास्टर एम उत्तर देते हैं, जो मैंने आपको ऊपर बताया था उसके आधार पर अपनी धारणाओं को सुधार कर अभी आप बेहतर रूप से समझेंगे। संपूर्ण व्यक्तित्व 3 मध्य तत्वों में या तीसरे, चौथे और पांचवें तत्वों में केंद्रित है। पृथ्वी पर के जीवन के दौरान यह चौथे में है, जो इच्छा शक्ति का केंद्र है। मिस्टर ह्यूम ने व्यक्तिमत्व और व्यक्तित्व के यानी देहात्मा और जीवात्मा के अंतर को अच्छी तरह से परिभाषित किया है। जीवात्मा की तुलना में देहात्मा अपना 7 फोल्ड अधोगमन और ऊर्ध्वगमन सफलतापूर्वक करने के लिए शायद ही बना रहता है। 7वें तत्व में स्थित शाश्वत जीवन शक्ति को स्वयं में आत्मसात करना है और फिर चौथे, पांचवें और 7वें इन तीनों तत्वों को छठवें तत्व में मिला देना है। जो ऐसा करने में सफल हो जाते हैं वे बुद्ध, ध्यान चौहान आदि बन जाते हैं और हमारे संघर्षों, परिश्रमों और दीक्षाओं का मुख्य उद्देश्य इस धरती पर रहते हुए इस मिलाप को प्राप्त करना है। जो सफल होंगे उन्हें 5वें, 6वें और 7वें राउंड में भय करने की कोई बात नहीं है, लेकिन यह एक रहस्य है। हमारे प्रिय KH इस ग्लोब में सबसे परे, सबसे उच्चतम लक्ष्य के मार्ग पर है। आपने हमारे 2 मित्रों के लिए जो कुछ किया है उसके लिए मैं आपको धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ। यह कृतज्ञता का ऋण है जो हम आपके एहसानमंद हैं। आगे मास्टर कहते हैं, कुछ थोड़े समय के लिए आप मेरे बारे में या मेरी तरफ से कुछ नहीं सुन पाएंगे। तैयारी करें। थैंक यू। नमस्ते।
Meenakshi ji, thank you so much for translating this most complex letter so nicely into Hindi. And I would like to just apologize for this time that we have exceeded today. But I think this letter deserves the utmost attention from all of us. We need to read it and meditate upon it. So I think with this, we will conclude the session for today.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. Okay, so please join me in the closing prayer. Om